Happy rails to you. Welcome back, my friends. Happy rails to you. It's good to see you again. Thanks for watching this channel and the videos. Sometimes they go real fast and sometimes they're slow. Happy rails to you. Glad you're watching in. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. This is G-Man. I wanted to start this layout update today with a short run of the standard rail systems train. Now you remember it a while back here. It was a junk engine that I had gotten and that I had, and someone else actually had the same idea that I did, but they went forward with it and I never started mine, which made it neat because they actually had did the work for me. I just had to go back through and rebuild it and get it going, in which I added the power car, which they had a tender on the back side of it to pick up the power and transfer it to the motor. Now, this is a four-wheeled powered engine, rear motor. They used a steam locomotive motor, and it does not swivel. But I rebuilt it and put it back together, repaired it, touched it up, took the tender and changed it into a box car using a scientific box car shell. Fit the tender perfectly. And there we have it. Now, the question is whether it will go around the layout or not. Well, the probability is no. But there's a good chance that it might make one or two of the curves in the process. Let's take a look. All right, here we go. Well, it wasn't on the track very good right there. But we see that it won't handle the curves. So we'll go ahead and take it off the track. But I just wanted to show that to you. That's the start of the maiden voyage for the standard rail systems. It goes a pretty far space, actually, without stopping. And there's a couple of pretty tight curves in there to that point. So we know if the curves are real tight that it will not make it around the curves. But this curve here, it went around it fairly well. But when it went to straighten up over here, the one wheel was still off. I noticed what it does when it's traveling along. When it gets to a straight, it aligns itself back up on a straight. And then the curves is what throws it off. It seems like some curves, if they're large enough, if there's enough radius, they'll actually pull themselves on around the curve and then realign with the track. After this curve, it did not completely realign. I didn't get it on there good, partially my fault. And then, of course, it jumped off here at the switch. So, you saw it here first. It will run, and I'm not going to scrap the idea right now. I'm just going to set it aside for now. And later on, I'll pick it up again. Now, on to other things about the layout. I started cleaning that main line, S-gauge track, and I got it around to the tunnel, and I cleaned it partially through the tunnel, but I could not get the whole tunnel clean. And the track is still pretty dirty, even though I've went around it once. And just really need to go around it again and use a track cleaner or a solvent and clean those tracks really well. But I've decided, and I hate to say it, guys, but I've decided, I've been talking to my friend, my good friend, John Long, and I've discussed it with my buddy over at my train room, Jim Barker, a couple times. And at the age I am now, with the limitations that I have, even though I've done all of this work and redoing this layout, making everything accessible, or as accessible as I could, there are still areas that are a problem for me, and that tunnel is one of them. It's obvious that because of my age and health problems, now that I cannot get in, because I can't crawl in under this layout to get back there. And so I can't get in that corner, that far corner inside that tunnel to clean it unless I lay down or get up on top of the layout. And that's not a good thing because of the trackage. There's so much trackage. My body weight just warps the tracks. If I have to stand on them, sit on them, kneel on them, whatever you do. And that's just about with anybody's body weight that's over 40 pounds. When you step on a track or you kneel on a track, put your knee on a track, your body weight's going to bend that track, and that creates more problems. And so, guys, I finally come to the conclusion, even after all this other hard work that I've done, this may be the last time that you see this layout as it is. This is actually my first mountain that I ever built. And I hate to see it go. And if I can save it, I'll save it and try to figure out how to use it again in another location, or maybe a similar location. But I've made up my mind, as much as it pains me that I'm just going to have to go ahead and bite the bullet and probably spend the next couple of months, because that's about how long it'll take me to do all of this, maybe 2 or 3 months even, tearing this down, the whole thing down this time, and reconfiguring it and building a smaller layout. Now, I've had small layouts, don't get me wrong, and I had fun with them, but small layouts never did too much to appeal to me for my running trains. It's more like a situation of have to, and you kind of lend yourself to that. And to me, this is a small layout. But it's small compared to some. It's about a quarter in size compared to some, and half the size compared to others. But it doesn't matter. It's what appeals to you. And this was, for me, was considering the amount of room that I have. My shop area is 11 by 16. My surface area for my trains is about 10, I think it's 10.6 or 10.5. By 14. And that's what this layout is. So, painfully as it's going to be, I think I'm going to have to, like I say, bite the bullet and go ahead and tear this down. I don't want to set it outside. I don't want to, because I don't have any place else to put it. So I'm going to have to tear it down painstakingly and try to rebuild it in sections, because I always like to use, anytime I tear down a layout, I always like to use as much as the old layout as I can to rebuild it. So we've got plenty here to work with. I'm thinking maybe I can put these two sections together and build a walk-around layout, and then I can get all the way around the room. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to take it away from the walls. This section of the layout is actually built on my old shop workbench, which was a monster to try to tear out by itself to begin with. Well built, built out of 4x4s and 2x6s. And so that's another thing. How would I do that? Because tearing that workbench out is a lot of work. So I'm going to sit down and study this thing. And I'm going to see what's going on. Right now, as to that tunnel, my Santa Fe engine is stuck just about in the middle of that tunnel. And I have no way of getting it out short of getting up on top of the layout to remove it. So I'm not very happy with that, kind of disenchanted with that, but it is what it is. And so that's another reason why I'm probably going to end up having to tear this layout up just to get that train out of that tunnel. because I don't have anybody light enough to get up on this tabletop without ruining my track. I figured out that was another thing that was happening, because periodically I'd have a friend of mine, the deacon from our church. He and I are friends, and he comes over once in a while, and he has helped me to build this thing sometimes when I didn't have any help. And he's had to get up on the layout and try as he could not to step on track. It always gets stepped on, and I've had to get up on top of this layout myself many times, just on this outside edge. And it's not been lucrative for the layout. And the fact that the weather here is so humid, and my shop is not always, it's not comfort controlled, I'll say, to whereas there's heat or cold all the time in there. It varies with the weather, so when the weather changes, it's always in the natural elements, even though it's not exposed to direct sunlight, wind, or rain. So, as you know, wood warps and things change due to temperature changes. And so makes you have to come out and clean the track more often, because the track does get dusty, and it does get a little rusty once in a while. I've actually seen the track, because of condensation, it'd be so cool and so damp, and then it'd get really warm, really warm, and builds condensation a little bit on the tracks. So there's always track problems, but the biggest problem is being able to get to the problems to fix them. So, long story short, this may be, gosh, guys, as you know, I really was getting really close to being absolutely satisfied with this layout. I've got everything up and going now, almost non-problematic, except for the upper level of track, and I've still got a couple of minor problems, real minor, down on this lower level that I was going to take care of. But I think the best thing to do probably is just build a smaller layout so I can get around it and maintain it. And hopefully I'll enjoy it better. It won't be so small, too small, but it will still be, it'll still be a good size layout. But I'll be able to go around it and reach everything, instead of trying to reach across or reach behind, or in the case of this tunnel, get over there and reach inside the tunnel to get anything that gets stuck or derails, which I've never had anything stopping that tunnel. So it's just, that was kind of amazing. But I knew it was dirty in there, like I said. And that tunnel was the first thing that I put on this layout when I built it. And I've never had a train stop in that tunnel. But anyhow, it is what it is. So I wanted to show you one last look at the layout as it is right now. There's the mainline circus. I never completely finished getting that all totally set up. And here is Cape Canaveral. And I've got that as crowded, about as crowded as you can get it. And don't have everything out there, but almost everything. And I combined it with the Lionel platform, the astronaut space station, not space station, but launch platform. I really like my little town, the way it's set up. And maybe some of that won't change. We'll just have to see once we tear it down and manipulate it and see how far we can get with it, what changes we'll actually have to make. Another purpose was so that I could run, put those 031 minimum curves on here, so that I could run my engines, my bigger engines, because I got rid of most of my large engines, almost all of them, just so that I could run around, because I couldn't run around the curves with 027. So, like I say, we'll see. Guys, wish me good luck with this. We'll probably be off. We're not shutting down the channel, but we'll probably not be posting anything for a while. Maybe I'll try when I can to post something once a week, continue to post once a week. But there may be a couple of weeks in this very near future where I don't post anything at all. So guys, don't get discouraged because you don't see a post. If you have not seen all the videos, there are over 300 videos on my channel that you can go back and look at. And I think you'll enjoy it. There's repair videos, there's custom building videos. There are layout videos from earlier transitions with the layout updates. And this layout has evolved 3 times in the last 3-4 years. So there's plenty of footage, there's plenty of things to see, and maybe some of them you haven't seen yet, or some things maybe you've never even seen before. So please don't get discouraged. Go back and look at the old footage. When I come back, there may be a name change too. I might change the name of the channel, but I'll let you know if I decide to do that process. So, as for now, I'm going to run the Rio Grande around. Get this out of the way. Whoops. Now I just took this Rio Grande back in and redid some things on it. I had some a short in the wiring. That was one of the problems I was having with it, as to its jumping off the track. Didn't know it, but it was actually shorting out inside the truck. And I redid the nose on it and put some silver on it. And I also added, I don't know whether you can see it or not, but the Rio Grande nose emblem. The lighting's not too good on that, but there it is. Put in a windshield also, guys. I don't know whether you can see that or not. Okay, here we go. It just really runs like a top now. I just slowed it down. I think that's about 20. Yeah, it's gonna barely pull right there right now. There we go. Okay, guys. Well, that's all I've got for you for now. This is G-Man. As always, if you enjoy running your trains, operating your trains, working on your layout, doing custom work, whatever it is that you do with your trains, you should have happy rails. That's all for now. Bye until next time.